Go check your water bill from last month, not later. Right now, if you have it nearby. Look at the total, now ask yourself one thing. Do you actually know where that water went? Most people can account for showers, laundry, dishes, cooking. That math adds up in most people's heads. But there is one place in almost every home where water disappears completely silently. No drip sound, no puddle on the floor, no warning of any kind. And the household has absolutely no idea until the bill arrives and the number does not make sense. Your toilet tank has a rubber seal at the bottom. It is called a flapper. It is the size of your palm. It costs $8 at any hardware store. And when it starts to fail, which it does in most homes between 3 and 5 years after installation, it allows water to slide continuously from the tank into the bowl. Not any rush, just a slow, quiet, non-stop movement downward. The tank detects the drop in water level, refills, drains again, refills again, every hour, every night. While you sleep, while you work, while you sit in the next room with no idea. According to the United States Environmental Protection Agency, an average leaking toilet wastes about 200 gallons of water every single day. 200 gallons. The average person in this country uses between 80 and 100 gallons of water per day for everything. Every shower, every flush, every meal, every glass of water, every load of laundry, everything combined. A single leaking toilet can waste more water in 24 hours than 2 adults use for their entire daily lives. And it does this without a single sound you would recognize as a leak, without a single drop on the floor, without a single moment where something looks or sounds wrong. Before this video ends, you are going to do a 30-second test that tells you exactly whether your toilet is doing this right now. It costs nothing. It uses something already in your kitchen. And the result will either give you complete peace of mind or save you hundreds of dollars this year. Hidden Systems explains the everyday things in homes that cost real money while staying completely invisible. Subscribe so you do not miss the next one. Now, back to what is happening inside your toilet right now. Here is exactly what is happening inside the tank. The flapper is a rubber disc that sits over the drain opening at the very bottom of the tank. Every time you flush, it lifts. Water rushes from the tank into the bowl, and the flapper drops back down to seal the drain completely while the tank refills. When the seal is perfect, no water moves between the tank and the bowl unless you flush. That is the system working correctly. But rubber degrades. It does not happen overnight. It happens over years, 3 to 5 years of continuous contact with water. Mineral deposits build up on the sealing edge. Chlorine in tap water slowly breaks down the rubber compound. And according to the EPA Water Sense program, the chemical cleaning tablets that millions of households drop into the tank, those blue or green dissolving tabs that color the water and keep the bowl clean, those tablets accelerate flapper degradation significantly. The rubber softens, it warps slightly at the edge. It develops a small groove where the seal no longer sits completely flat. A gap forms. And once that gap exists, water begins moving from the tank into the bowl whether you flush or not. Think about the rubber seal around your refrigerator door. When it is new, you can feel the resistance when you pull the door open. The seal is tight and precise. As it ages, it loses tension. It pulls away from the frame in small places. Air gets inches. Your refrigerator works harder. You might notice it cycling on more frequently. But you attribute it to the weather or how full it is, and you never trace it back to the door seal. The flapper fails the same way, gradually, invisibly, with absolutely no external feedback that anything has changed. The only difference is, a degraded refrigerator seal affects your electricity consumption. A degraded toilet flapper affects your water consumption, and water is billed monthly in a single total with no breakdown showing where each gallon went. So the cycle runs. The tank drains slowly through the gap. The float drops. The fill valve opens. The tank refills. The flapper continues leaking. The tank drains again. The fill valve opens again. On its own, automatically, every few minutes, every hour of every day. You never touch the handle. The toilet never stopped running. Now here is what this actually costs. Denver Water, whose rates represent mid-range municipal water pricing across the country, documented that a toilet leak of 200 gallons per day adds between $270 and $470 to a household's annual water bill. That range exists because water rates vary significantly by city. In higher-cost markets, San Francisco, Seattle, Atlanta, where water and sewer charges are both calculated based on metered consumption, a single leaking toilet can add more than $500 per year. In lower-cost areas, closer to $200. But across that entire range, the number is significant. It is annual, it compounds every single month, and it is completely preventable for the cost of one hardware store visit. According to the EPA WaterSense Fix a Leak program, 10% of homes have leaks that waste 90 gallons or more per day. The majority of those leaks are toilets. The majority of those toilet leaks are flappers. 1 in 10 homes. Think about the last 10 households you could name. Your home, your immediate neighbors, your family. One of those 10 is right now losing 90 or more gallons every single day. And statistically, the household it belongs to has absolutely no idea. Here is why this particular leak is almost impossible to detect without specifically testing for it. Most household leaks make themselves known eventually. A pipe leaking under the sink leaves water in the cabinet. A roof leak produces stains on the ceiling. A dripping faucet makes a sound you cannot ignore over time. These leaks create physical evidence outside the point of failure. A toilet flapper leak creates no external evidence at all. The water travels from the tank, through the faulty seal, into the bowl, and directly into the sewer line. Nothing overflows. Nothing appears on the floor. Nothing changes about how the toilet sounds or looks during normal use. The bowl looks exactly as it always did. The tank fills and sits quietly as it always has. The only change is a number on a water bill that arrives weeks after the leak started and carries no indication of where the additional consumption came from. Most water utilities do not notify customers when usage increases significantly. According to the American Water Works Association, utilities are developing smart meter notification systems, but most residential households are not enrolled in any leak alert program. The bill arrives. The number is higher than expected. The household runs through the familiar mental checklist. Was there extra laundry this month? Did someone leave the shower running? Was there a guest staying for a few days? The toilet in the second bathroom, which functions completely normally by every visible measure, never gets checked. And this is exactly how a toilet leaks for 6 months, 12 months, sometimes longer, before anyone connects the higher bill to the right source. Not all toilet leaks are the same size, and this distinction matters. According to EPA residential plumbing guidance, toilet leaks fall on a spectrum. A small leak through a slightly warped flapper may waste only 30 to 50 gallons per day. A moderate leak through a more significantly degraded seal, around 100 gallons per day. A severe leak, a flapper that has failed completely, up to 200 gallons per day continuously. The 30-gallon leak adds approximately $80 to $120 per year to a water bill. Noticeable over time if you are watching carefully, but easy to attribute to seasonal changes or increased household activity. The 100-gallon leak adds approximately $160 to $240 per year. Significant, but still not dramatic enough to trigger an immediate investigation in most households. The full 200-gallon leak adds between $270 and $470 per year. At that level, most households notice something has changed in the bill. But even then, the toilet in the guest bathroom is rarely the first suspect. Here is the number that puts this in perspective. According to EPA estimates, the average household spends approximately $1,000 per year on combined water and sewer charges. A flapper leaking at 200 gallons per day adds approximately 30% on top of that baseline. For a family of 4 managing monthly expenses, that is $300 per year, leaving through a rubber disc the size of a coffee lid, with a retail price of $8. $8. $300 per year lost because of an $8 part that most households have never once replaced. There is one more thing worth understanding, and this one is specific to households that moved into a home they did not build. When you move into an existing home, You inherit the maintenance history, or in most cases the lack of a maintenance history, of every previous occupant. The toilets in that home may still have the original flappers installed when the house was constructed. If the home is 10 years old, those flappers are 10 years old. If it is 15 years old, they may never have been replaced once. There is no age indicator on a flapper, no service record on a toilet, no way to know from the outside whether the rubber seal inside the tank is still functional without testing it directly. A flapper that is visibly discolored, that feels soft or spongy when pressed, or shows any cracking or deformation along its sealing edge should be replaced immediately, regardless of whether an active leak is detectable at the moment. The degradation is there. The leak is either already happening below the threshold of obvious detection, or it is coming soon. Plumbing professionals and the EPA both recommend replacing toilet flappers every 3 to 5 years as routine maintenance, regardless of whether a leak is visible. The cost for a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom home is under $40 total. The time investment is under 30 minutes, and it eliminates one of the most consistent sources of unexplained water bill increases in the first year or two of home ownership, the period when higher bills are easiest to dismiss as simply what this home costs to run. They are not what this home costs to run. They are what years of deferred maintenance costs. And the fix every single time is an $8 part in 10 minutes. Here is the test. 30 seconds. Nothing to buy. Remove the lid from your toilet tank, the porcelain cover on the back. Set it carefully on the floor or counter. Look at the water in the tank. Now walk to your kitchen and bring back food coloring. Any color, blue, red, green, it does not matter. Drop 3 to 5 drops of food coloring into the water in the tank. Put the lid back. Do not flush. Do not use the bathroom. Just leave it. Come back in 15 minutes. When you return, look at the water in the toilet bowl. Not the tank, the bowl. If the bowl water is completely clear, your flapper is sealing correctly. The dye stayed in the tank. You have no leak. Replace the lid and continue your day. If the bowl water shows any trace of color, your flapper is leaking. The dye moved from the tank through the faulty seal into the bowl during the time you were waiting. And before you ran this test, that same movement was happening every hour of every day without you knowing. The darker the color in the bowl, the larger the leak. The fix is a replacement flapper. Any hardware store, Home Depot, Lowe's, Ace Hardware, local plumbing supply, plumbing aisle, between $5 and $15. Most are universal fit and will work with the majority of residential toilets without any measuring or special knowledge required. If you want to be certain, take a photo of your existing flapper before you go, or remove it and bring it to match. Replacing it takes 10 minutes. Turn the water supply valve off first, the small oval valve on the wall behind the toilet. Turn it clockwise until it stops. Flush once to empty the tank. The tank will not refill because the supply is closed. Look at the bottom of the tank. The flapper sits over the circular drain opening. It connects to the overflow tube, the tall tube in the center, with 2 small pegs on either side. Unhook the chain from the flush arm. Slip the flapper's ears off the pegs. Lift it out. Slip the new flapper onto the same pegs. Reconnect the chain. Leave a small amount of slack so the flapper sits flat when closed. Turn the water back on. Let the tank fill. Run the food coloring test one more time if you want to confirm. Done. $8, 10 minutes, $300 per year back. If your home has 2 bathrooms, test both toilets tonight. Flappers installed at the same time degrade at approximately the same rate. If one is leaking, the other likely is not far behind. The most expensive leaks are always the ones nobody ever thinks to check for. Go to the test right now. Then come back and tell me in the comments, was your bowl clear after 15 minutes? Or did color show up? If it showed color, how long do you think that toilet had been leaking before you tested it today? Tell me what you found. I read every single one.